What is going on, Dork Daily? It is your resident Delco Dork Gabe Riberio here, and I am here with my good friend
Bax. I'm in a couple other videos.
This week marks the 35th anniversary of one of our absolute favorite movies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, 1990. Here are 5 reasons that this movie is still a legend. Number 1 is its story, and specifically its accuracy. That's why I decided to bring you in, because you are a huge Turtles comics expert.
Yes, what I think is shocking about this movie, given when it was made, many of us, if you were one of the target audience of that movie, you were probably one of the kids that became a big fan of the Turtles with the cartoon. Now, there were people that already read the comics, certainly the black and white comics that came out in 84 and started to get big around 85. But, so it's 1990, I'm about to turn 11, and I mainly know the cartoon. I owned one black and white Turtles comic when the movie came out. It was Leonardo #1, which is from December of 1986. And at the time, I thought that was ancient history. Like, wow, the black and white Turtle comics, where they all have the red headbands on the cover. And that was the one comic I knew going in. And I started to realize that the movie not only took some direct scenes from that, they could have adapted the cartoon that we all knew. They could have had the backstory where Hamato Yoshi fuses with the rat and turns into Splinter. Not that the rat actually is Splinter and Hamato Yoshi was his owner. That was different. Like giving us Shredder's almost his correct backstory. They just removed his brother, Oroku Nagi. But, you know, they didn't give us Bebop and Rocksteady. They
Leonardo #1 has Casey's introduction?
No, that's a different comic. But, so the scene where Raph gets beaten up and thrown in through the skylight window.
Which is badass, by the way.
Yeah, that's Leo in the comics. There's several scenes, except it's actually Christmas time. It's in the snow. But when he goes off on his own and ends up fighting a bunch of foot soldiers, a bunch of those scenes with Raph fighting them were from Leonardo #1, and it's his body that gets thrown in, and they catch him. It's almost aping that shot perfectly. But they could have given us cartoon backstory. They could have given us the exceptionally silly versions of the characters, and they did a really good adaptation of the first story arc with Shredder and various elements of those early TMNT comics from 84, 85.
Well, I think it's still a good blend of everything. Like it's a darker version of the Turtles in film version that we'll ever get, because Karen's complained after the fact. But there's still some silliness there. I think there's elements. There's elements to make the Turtles more like it's still a movie for kids.
And a lot of the yay pizza stuff.
I still attest that Donatello acts a little sillier than he should as the nerd.
Yeah, even Leo does at times.
Yeah.
But foot soldiers are not robots; they're real guys, like in the original comics. You know?
Yes.
They went with a lot of what they didn't have to. They could have tried to adapt the cartoon, and they went more for the original comic fans, and I think that movie made a lot of us fans of the original comics and had us really seek them out more. And again, they seemed like ancient history to me. In 1990, I'm like, wow, the Turtles came out in 84. It was 6 years ago.
You're right. Know? They very much turned me onto the Archie comics.
Yeah. Well, I liked those two. I have every single one of them.
Were fun.
To this day, I own every single one of the Archie TMNT, and I probably have about 80% of every black and white Turtle comic that ever exists from the beginning till when they did away with them. I guess the Mirage stuff ended in like 08 maybe. I'd have to go back. It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah.
09, something like that.
So that's what we thought about how the story is incorporated into the movie. Our number 2 point is we got to talk about the characters, right? We got to talk about who was brought into this movie, characters that are specific to the comics, or ones that they added for the sake of the movie to get the plot rolling.
Tatsu,
the Penningtons.
Damn.
Chief Stearns.
Yeah.
O'Neill, get in here.
107, a new record.
You trying to tell me how to do my job? No, but I mean, we talked about the Turtles. I think they're fairly well adapted. We obviously get Casey, and we get that whole story with Raph.
And Casey was not a big deal on the cartoon. If you knew the toys in the cartoon, I think he was on like one cartoon that I remember because it was, let's sell the new toy. But much bigger deal in the comics. We got comic Casey.
Yes, we get comics Casey.
April Casey romance.
April's Casey, but they decided to replace people who work at the news with her. So it's her boss, Charles Pennington, and his son, Dan.
And April was originally a scientist assistant. So reporter April is more of the stuff that comes later.
Yeah.
But they did give us that.
Danny's important in the sense that he's the one that finds out Splinter's backstory, plus he can be the mole for the foot. And the Shredder's you already talked about the difference with the Shredder, but I mean, damn, is he great in this.
Oh, no, I mean, they did a great version of original comic Shredder. The only thing that's different about that origin is that it was Shredder's brother that beat up Hamato Yoshi's lover, and they just took him out and had it be Shredder himself that did it.
That's right.
Because Shredder vowed revenge for his brother that was killed by Hamato Yoshi in the original
And we also have the origin of the Turtles as well.
Oh, which is the Daredevil origin.
That's right. I knew you were going to talk about that.
Yes, in the original comics, when the Turtles are made, you see Daredevil, his origin, where he jumps and saves an old man in the street, and it hits him in the eyes, the canister, and then it hits a kid nearby holding a globe of turtles and goes down to the sewer. Because in the early 80s, the biggest comics for Marvel were ninjas and mutants. Daredevil and the X-Men comics and the New Mutants comics and things that were on the rise then. So Eastman and Laird said, what's big right now? Ninjas and mutants, which is why they created the Turtles. But they got that Easter egg in where the Turtles' origin is actually Daredevil is there. Frank Miller's Daredevil ruled the world in the early 80s.
Also, we want to give a special shout out to our lead punk for the Foot, Sam Rockwell.
Yes, Sam Rockwell.
Menthol.
Yes.
I love Tatsu too. I mean,
Did that guy ever do anything else? Did he have a good career?
Yeah, I never heard of him. Guy Fleetman? Never heard of him. No, but I think all the characters are pretty solid in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so move on to number 3. I want to talk about the overall look of this movie.
Puppets.
Well, I want to talk about costumes, the sets, the effects, all of that encompassing. So,
Animatronics.
you know me. Whose company do I really, really love?
Jim Henson.
And a Jim Henson Creature Workshop. These turtles are exceptional, and Splinter looks great
They
too.
look the best in the first movie. They never look that good
Yeah,
again.
they don't.
Yep.
I love Shredder's getup. I
Yes.
love Shredder's getup. I like the way the Foot looks. I like Casey's getup.
The Foot look perfect. They look like the comic Foot.
They
They
didn't
look great.
quite match April from the cartoon, but whatever.
No, they went for more comic April with curly hair. Yeah.
And I love Grimy New York. I love the Turtles lair. I love the Foot's lair. Like, that looked like the coolest thing in the middle of the way. It's like, I'm 13 and smoking cigarettes and playing cards and video games.
Playing video game. Go. Play.
Go.
Yeah.
I love the look of this movie. Absolutely. Mwah.
And I remember when it came out, there were a lot of complaints where people said the movie was very dark. Not in subject matter, it was filmed dark.
Yes.
And there are a lot of scenes, it's very shadowy, but it always 100% worked for me in this movie.
Ninja Vanish.
You can see enough.
But they give it a good balance because we get to hang out on the farm a little bit too. And
Yes.
April's farmhouse, April's little farm, everything.
Grapes
great
of
great
Wrath.
stuff.
Yes.
Grapes of Wrath. War and Peace.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
reading that right now.
Yes.
Ironic.
Number 4. Oh, and this is something that you and I are going to love. We're going to talk about the music. I don't know if we know where to start with the score or the soundtrack.
They're both great. And your boy Dan Hartman, who you love.
Dan Hartman wrote 9.95.
Yeah, he's in,
That's the song that's playing when Casey and April are making out. It goes.
I think mathematically, every movie made between 1983 and 1990, every third movie has a Dan Hartman song in it.
At least written. Plus, we got MC Hammer. That's playing in the scene with the montage with the kids who are getting recruited by the Foot. And of course,
I can hear it right now.
Power.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we all noticed as kids, wait a minute, Raphael's not the leader. That was the only thing that got wrong.
That's in the lyrics.
Everybody knows the words.
The score is so good, dude. I don't know which piece I love the most. It's the
Sting.
The opening theme is great, but it's got to be the Shredder's origin.
Sting,
The Shredder's
when they're
introduction.
removing the blade, the copper from the blade.
Oh, it's so good.
There's a sting of music that goes with the shine.
There's a great sting of
Chef's
music
kiss.
too. That's when Michelangelo's doing the chuck off with the one foot, and it goes wow.
Yep.
Oh, and the Foot's theme is really good too.
Yes. It's all great.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yep. I can feel it.
I mean, the final point we got to talk about is just its performance and its legacy. And I mean, look at us right now.
That it's still the best. All these other Turtle movies, they never topped that one. The costumes I mentioned never looked that good ever again.
Maybe it's a blessing because, this was, as you said, they made it for the comic fans. And of course, parents are going to complain, oh, this is a kid's franchise. Why is it so dark? They're hitting each other with weapons.
And there was a lot of talk about how violent it was. There were reviews talking about, this movie is so violent. You rarely see even a
Shredder
little
gets
blood.
nicked in the arm.
Yeah, it's like they would be killing those foot soldiers certainly, but it's not like you see limbs getting hacked off. They're only
beat down is a little meh.
Well, there's only a couple of times you even see Leo's katanas connect with a foot soldier. Most of it is just punches and beatdowns and things, but it's not like they're chopping off heads and arms from foot soldiers.
No,
So it wasn't that violent.
That's not to say that if you had made the movies more kid friendly, that they'd be worse, because we still like some of them. You even like those Michael Bay ones.
Well, I went to see them both out of loyalty to the Turtles. There were moments where I would almost feel a little bit of that 1990 glimmer, but no, I mean, they're never going to be the same.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a legacy thing, because the comic books were huge, the toys were huge. The movie obviously was a huge success. At the time, wasn't it the most highest grossing independent movie of all time?
Yes, it was, because it cost next to nothing to make, and it was so successful. And you know what's funny? That second Michael Bay movie tried to really make a cartoon movie. That second one was like your Bebop Rocksteady silly cartoon movie. The '07 Turtles animated movie is good. That is pretty good.
I need to watch that one again. But I mean, looking back now, I'm glad that the Turtles are still got it. I'm glad they're still around.
Yeah,
for everyone to love.
They had a little bit of a lull there from like the mid '90s into the early 2000s, and then when they came back in '02, '03 with the new cartoon and a bunch of video games, they've not gone away since then. They've been around in some form. I just feel like kids are always going to know Ninja Turtles.
And this is the gold standard right here. I mean, come on,
right.
Come on.
I remember this poster.
I mean,
well.
So I'm significantly younger than you. So when I was growing up,
I'm old.
I watched this and the second movie way more than I did a lot of the episodes of the cartoon.
Well, me too.
Other than I gotta give the shout out because we used to get them. Shout out because I gotta do Delco. Brookhaven Burger King, the Burger King Kids Club's VHSs of the cartoons.
Yeah. No, I watched the cartoon a ton, obviously, but even that went on until '96. Those Red Sky episodes.
Yeah,
which I watched years later.
What else was getting big when I was a kid?
I kind of fell out and watched the movies more later. What are you talking about?
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh yeah, Power Rangers. Of course.
Yes.
I was too old to be watching that, and I watched that too when it came out. I was already too old to be, but I watched it.
Well, we've already went off on a tangent anyway. That's just our thoughts on the movie, guys. It's God tier for us. I mean, it's one of the we both watched it.
It's one of the movies that I've seen the most in my life. We were talking about the VHS trailer for Pizza Hut with the baseball game. We know the song by heart. You saw it 100 times when you were a kid.
Last time we watched it, we were quoting it so much we annoyed your wife.
Yeah, well,
it is what it is.
She was born the year after that movie came out.
So that's what we think about this movie, guys. We love it to death. What's your favorite movie in the Ninja Turtles franchise? Obviously, it's this one, but I really love two. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Gabe Riberio.
You're Dave?
I'm Gabe Riberio.
You're Dave Riberio?
I'm Gabe Riberio.
I'm back, so I know my name.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!